He reached for the phone before she could react. The sound of her fingers stopping mid-scroll echoed louder than the hallway itself. The cleaning lady froze as the millionaire snatched the phone from her hands, his breath shallow, his eyes locked on the screen. The name staring back at him made his face drain of color. "Why does my wife's name appear here?" he asked, his voice low, sharp, and trembling. Moments earlier, she had been invisible to him, just another worker in uniform. Now the space between them felt suffocating. Employees slowed their steps. Glass walls reflected a confrontation no one was supposed to witness. She lifted her eyes slowly, confusion mixing with something deeper, a pain she had carried for years. This story follows what happens next, how a small humiliating moment turned into a life-changing story of hidden truths, broken pride, and second chances neither of them expected. Before we begin this emotional story, tell us in the comments from which city you are watching, and don't forget to leave your like to keep following us. The corridor fell silent after the phone slipped from her hands. It hit the polished floor face down, the sound sharp and final. The cleaning lady stared at it, then at the man standing in front of her, a man she recognized instantly. Everyone in the building did. He owned the company. His name was on the glass walls, the annual reports, the awards in the lobby. He bent down slowly and picked up the phone before she could reach for it. "What is this?" he asked, holding it between them, the screen still lit. The incoming call had stopped, but the name remained burned into his vision. Wife. She swallowed. Her gloved hands trembled slightly before she folded them against her apron. "I didn't mean for you to see that," she said quietly. His jaw tightened. "You shouldn't have it. You shouldn't even be touching a phone during work hours." Her eyes lifted, steady but tired. It was ringing. "That's not the point," he snapped, though his voice wavered. "Why does my wife's name appear on your phone?" People were pretending not to look now. Doors half opened, footsteps slowed. She took a small breath as if choosing every word carefully. "Because she called me." "That's impossible," he said immediately. "You don't know my wife." She didn't answer right away. Instead, she reached for the phone gently, not trying to snatch it back, just waiting. "I clean this floor every night," she said. "I empty your trash. I wipe fingerprints off the glass in your office. I hear things people think no one hears." "That doesn't explain this," he said, louder than he intended. Her gaze dropped to the floor. "You're right. It doesn't." He felt something shift in his chest. Irritation, yes, but also something colder. Fear. "Give me one reason," he said, lowering his voice, "why I shouldn't call security right now." She looked at him again. This time, there was no shame in her eyes, only resolve. "Because if you do," she said, "you'll never find out why your wife has been sending me money every month for the past 17 years. The hallway seemed to tilt. "What?" he whispered. She took a step back, putting distance between them. "You don't recognize me," she continued. "I didn't expect you to." But she did. The moment she saw my name on a hospital form, everything changed. His heart pounded. "What are you talking about?" She hesitated, just a second too long. Then footsteps echoed behind him. "Dad?" He turned sharply. A young man stood at the end of the corridor, pale, holding a folder, and staring at the phone still in his father's hand. The young man's voice hung in the air like a dropped glass that hadn't shattered yet. "Dad?" The millionaire, Ethan Hale, stiffened. The folder in the kid's hands looked official, thick. The kind hospitals gave you when they wanted you to stop hoping and start signing. "Logan, what are you doing here?" Ethan asked, forcing control into his tone, the way he did in boardrooms. Logan didn't answer right away. His eyes flicked from Ethan's face to the phone, then to the cleaning lady standing rigidly with her gloved hands clasped. Something about her, her posture, the way she didn't shrink, made him hesitate. "I came to drop off Mom's discharge papers," Logan said finally. She's waiting in the car. She wanted you to sign something." Ethan's grip tightened around the phone. "Not now." Logan stepped closer, confused. "What's going on?" Ethan lowered the phone slightly, as if hiding it would erase what it displayed. "Nothing. Go back downstairs." The cleaning lady's voice cut through the tension, quiet but steady. "He shouldn't drive her right now," she said. Ethan's head snapped toward her. "Excuse me?" Logan's brows pulled together. "Why would you say that?" She looked past Ethan straight at Logan. "Because she's been fainting again," she said, "and she won't tell anyone it's happening." Ethan's face hardened. "You don't know anything about my wife." The woman's throat moved as she swallowed. "I know enough to recognize the way people breathe when they're hiding pain," she said. "She breathes like that." Logan blinked, shaken. "Have you been watching her?" "I've been cleaning the private elevator after her appointments," the woman replied. "She throws up in the trash can and then wipes her lipstick like nothing happened." Ethan felt heat rise in his neck. "That's—" he started, then stopped, because it wasn't impossible. Claire had been tired for months. Claire had been fine in the way people were fine when they didn't want to ruin your day. Logan opened the folder in his hands with trembling fingers. "Dad, they want you to sign for home care. They said if we delay—" Ethan didn't hear the rest. The phone in his hand buzzed again. Incoming call. Wife. He turned the screen toward Logan without meaning to, like his body had chosen truth over pride. Logan's eyes widened. "Why is Mom calling her?" he whispered. The cleaning lady flinched at the word her. Not offended, just stung by how quickly she became a stranger again. Ethan stepped closer, invading her space. "Tell me your name," he said, lower now. "Your real name." She hesitated, then reached into her apron pocket and pulled out a worn plastic badge from a different place. Old, faded, a hospital volunteer tag with a different last name. "Mara Sutton," she said. Logan's face went blank for a second, as if his mind was searching a locked drawer. Then his fingers tightened around the folder. "That name," he murmured. Ethan's stomach dropped. "Where have you heard it?" Logan looked up, eyes glossy, voice thin. "It's on my adoption file." The hallway suddenly felt too narrow, the air too clean to breathe. Mara's eyes closed for a brief second, like a prayer she didn't believe in anymore. And then Ethan's phone slipped from his hand again, because this time the call didn't stop. Claire's voice came through the speaker, urgent and shaking. "Ethan," she whispered, "if you're with Mara, please don't let her leave." The phone lay on the floor between them, Claire's voice trembling through the speaker like it didn't belong in such a clean place. "Mara," Claire said again, softer now. "Please." Ethan stared at the device as if it might explode. Logan bent down and picked it up, his hands shaking as he put it to his ear. "Mom," he said. "What's going on?" There was a pause, a breath. Then Claire spoke carefully. Each word weighed. "Logan, sweetheart, I need you to listen to me. I need you to stay there." Ethan ran a hand through his hair, pacing once, then stopping. "Stay where?" he demanded. "With the woman you've been hiding from me for years?" Mara flinched at the word hiding. Claire exhaled on the other end. "Ethan, I didn't hide her. I protected her." "From what?" he snapped. "From me. From what we were," Claire replied quietly. "Back then." Logan looked between Mara and his father, the corridor blurring. "Mum," he said, voice cracking, "why is her name on my adoption file?" Silence stretched, not empty but heavy. Mara spoke before Claire could. "Because I signed the papers," she said, with hands that wouldn't stop shaking. Ethan froze. "What papers?" "The ones that gave your son a future," Mara answered, "and took mine away." Logan's chest tightened. "You're saying you're my—" "No," Mara said quickly, lifting a gloved hand. "I'm saying I was." The words landed without drama, without accusation. That was what made them unbearable. Claire's voice broke through again, raw now. "I met Mara 17 years ago, in the maternity ward. She was alone. You were flying back from Tokyo. The doctor said the baby needed surgery we couldn't afford at the time." Ethan's knees weakened. He leaned against the glass wall. "You told me Logan was born healthy," he whispered. "I told you what I needed to tell you so you wouldn't hesitate," Claire said. "So you wouldn't choose numbers over a life." Mara closed her eyes. "I didn't know who you were," she said to Ethan. "I only knew your wife held my hand while I cried. She promised my son would be loved." Logan felt tears blur his vision. "Why didn't you ever come for me?" he asked Mara, the question sharp with pain. Mara opened her eyes. They were steady, but red. "Because I saw you once," she said, "at a school fundraiser. You were laughing, safe. I went home and scrubbed floors until my hands bled, and I told myself that was enough. Ethan's voice dropped. And the money, Claire answered. I sent it, every month, so she could stay close, so she could watch over him if something happened to us. Ethan laughed once, hollow. You turned my building into a secret. Mara stepped back. I never planned to speak to him, she said. I only answered the phone today because your wife collapsed in the lobby bathroom. Logan's heart skipped. What? She asked me to call you, Mara continued. She said you wouldn't listen to her, but you might listen to me. Footsteps echoed fast now. A security guard appeared at the far end of the hall. Ethan looked at Mara, then at his son, and for the first time he didn't know which truth scared him more. The security guard slowed when he sensed the tension, his hand hovering near his radio. Ethan straightened. Instinct took over, the polished calm he used in crises. We're fine, he said too quickly. Give us a minute. The guard hesitated, then nodded and stepped back, eyes lingering on Mara longer than necessary. Logan exhaled shakily. Mom collapsed? He asked, turning toward Mara. How bad was it? She didn't lose consciousness, Mara said. But she couldn't stand, she kept apologizing. That's when she asked me to call. Ethan closed his eyes. The image of Claire, proud and controlled even in pain, cut deeper than the revelation itself. She never apologizes, he murmured. Mara watched him carefully. This was the man who had walked past her for years without seeing her. Now he looked smaller somehow, like the weight of the building had shifted onto his shoulders. I should go, Mara said softly. This isn't my place. Logan's head snapped up. Don't, he said. The word escaped him before he could think. Please. She met his eyes, really met them, for the first time. The resemblance was undeniable now. Not in the face, but in the way his brows tightened when he was afraid. I don't want to hurt you, she said. Logan swallowed. I think not knowing hurts more. Ethan felt something crack. You don't get to disappear again, he said, harsher than he intended. Not after this. Mara stiffened. I didn't disappear, she replied. I stayed close enough to clean your floors. Silence settled, thick with years of choices. Ethan turned to his son. Logan, go downstairs. Be with your mother. I'll be there soon. Logan hesitated. I don't want to leave. I need you to, Ethan said, softer now. Please. After a moment, Logan nodded and walked away, glancing back twice before the elevator doors closed. Now it was just Ethan and Mara. He looked at her, really looked, at the faint scar near her wrist, the tired strength in her posture. Why didn't you tell me? He asked. Because you wouldn't have heard it, she said. Not from someone like me. He didn't argue. That hurt more than denial. My wife is dying, he said suddenly, the truth falling out without protection. The doctors won't say it, but I can hear it in the pauses. Mara's breath caught. I know. He stared at her. How? She asked me to promise something, Mara said, that I would stay until you understood. Understood what? That loving a child doesn't begin with blood, Mara said, and it doesn't end with a signature. Ethan's phone buzzed again. Not a call this time. A message. From Claire. He deserves the truth, and so do you. Ethan looked up at Mara, his voice barely steady. Come with me, he said. To the hospital. Mara hesitated. Ethan, if you walk away now, he said, I'll let you, but I don't think I'll ever forgive myself. She searched his face for arrogance, for control, found none, just fear, and something close to humility. She nodded once. Okay, she said. And as they stepped toward the elevator together, neither of them noticed the small red light blinking above the security camera, quietly recording everything. The hospital smelled like antiseptic and quiet fear. Ethan walked faster than he ever had through those corridors, his polished shoes echoing off white walls that suddenly felt too narrow. Mara followed a step behind, clutching her cleaning bag like it was the only thing keeping her grounded. They found Claire in a private room, curtains half drawn. She looked smaller in the hospital bed, her dark hair pulled back, skin pale but eyes sharp. Those eyes softened the moment they landed on Mara. You came, Claire said, relief threading her weak smile. Ethan stopped at the foot of the bed. You collapsed and didn't tell me, he said. anger and fear tangled together. "And you let me find out like this?" Claire exhaled slowly. "I didn't want my illness to become another thing you tried to fix with money." Mara shifted, unsure where to stand. Claire reached out, her hand trembling. "Come closer," she said. Mara did. When Claire's fingers wrapped around hers, the years seemed to fold in on themselves. Logan stood near the window, arms crossed, watching everything. His eyes flicked to Mara, then away, as if afraid of what he might feel if he looked too long. Ethan cleared his throat. "How long?" he asked. Claire didn't pretend not to understand. "Stage 4, she said. "The doctors are giving me months, maybe less." The words landed without drama. That was their cruelty. Ethan sat heavily in the chair beside her. His voice broke. "You decided all of this without me." "I decided it with him in mind," she replied softly, glancing at Logan. "I wanted him protected, grounded, surrounded by truth before I leave." Logan turned. "So you waited until now to tell me she's my—" He couldn't finish. Claire nodded once. "I was afraid you'd see it as loss instead of addition." Mara spoke, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. "I never wanted to replace you," she said to Logan. "I just wanted you to have a life." Logan's eyes filled. "You gave me away." "Yes," Mara said, "and I stayed close enough to make sure it was worth it." Ethan watched the exchange, something unraveling inside him. "There's something else," he said quietly. "The cameras. The hallway." Claire's brow furrowed. "What about them?" "They might have recorded everything," Ethan said. "If this gets out," Mara stepped back instinctively. "I don't want your pity or your reputation," she said. "I'll disappear again if I have to." Claire squeezed her hand harder. "No," she said. "You've disappeared long enough." Logan finally stepped forward. "I don't know what I'm supposed to feel," he admitted. "But I don't want secrets anymore." A nurse knocked lightly on the door. "5 minutes," she said. Claire looked at all three of them, eyes shining. "I don't have much time," she said, "but I want to see you choose each other, not out of guilt, out of love." Ethan felt his phone vibrate again. This time it wasn't Claire, it was his legal team. "We need to talk." Immediately. Ethan didn't answer the message right away. He watched Logan sit on the edge of the chair, elbows on his knees, staring at the floor like it might open and swallow him. He watched Mara stand near the door, already bracing herself for rejection, for retreat. And he watched Claire, his wife, measure every breath like it mattered. Because it did. "I'll step outside," Ethan said finally. 2 minutes. Claire nodded. "Don't let them scare you into silence." The hallway outside the room felt colder. Ethan put the phone to his ear. "They have the footage," his lawyer said without greeting. "Security cameras from the executive floor. It's not good optics." "Optics," Ethan repeated, hollow. "You grabbing a cleaner's phone, raised voices, her name connected to your family. If this leaks, the board will—" "Stop," Ethan said. "What do you want?" "We can bury it," the lawyer replied. "NDA, severance, relocation, quiet." Ethan closed his eyes. For years, that word had solved everything. Quiet. He ended the call without answering. When he returned to the room, Mara was mid-sentence, speaking to Claire. "I don't need anything," she was saying. "I never did." Ethan walked past them and stopped in front of Logan. "Look at me," he said. Logan did. His eyes were red. "Are they going to make her go away?" Ethan felt the weight of the question, not as a CEO, but as a father. "No," he said. "Not this time." Mara's breath caught. "Ethan," he turned to her. "You gave my son his life," he said. "I won't take your voice." Claire smiled faintly. "Good," she whispered. The nurse returned, gentler now. "Time." Logan leaned down and hugged his mother carefully. "I'm not ready to lose you," he said. Claire touched his face. "Then don't," she replied. "Carry me forward." As they wheeled her out for tests, Ethan stayed behind with Mara. "The board will fight this," he said. "They'll say you're a liability." Mara nodded. "I've been called worse." "I'm serious," he continued. "There will be pressure, money, threats." She met his eyes. "I raised a child with nothing but courage. I'm not afraid of men in suits." Something in Ethan's expression shifted, admiration maybe, or shame. That evening, his company's internal portal lit up with a message from the CEO. Not a denial, not an apology, a disclosure. He acknowledged the incident, the footage, his behavior, and the truth about his son's adoption, and without names, without spectacle. He announced an independent review and stepped down temporarily. The board exploded. The stock dipped. And for the first time in years, Ethan slept. The next morning, Mara was called into a conference room she had cleaned 1,000 times. This time, the chairs were empty, except for Logan, standing by the window. "I told them I want to know you," he said, not turning around. "Not as a secret, as, whatever comes next." Mara swallowed hard. "That's a lot to ask." He faced her. "So was giving me up." They stood there, suspended between past and future. Then the door opened, and Claire's oncologist stepped in, holding a chart, his face unreadable. The doctor spoke calmly, carefully, as if words could soften reality. Claire's condition was serious, but not as final as they had feared. The treatment had a chance, not a promise. A chance. And for the first time in months, that was enough. Weeks passed. Ethan never returned to the executive floor. He kept his distance, letting the company face its own reckoning. What he didn't step away from was the hospital chair beside Claire's bed, the quiet conversations with Logan, and the slow, fragile rebuilding of something he had never known he'd broken. Mara stopped cleaning offices, not because she was paid off, not because she was hidden, but because she was invited. She attended therapy sessions with Logan, awkward at first, honest later. There were tears that came late, and questions that never had clean answers. But there was no silence anymore. Months later, when Claire rang the bell signaling the end of her treatment, Mara stood beside her. Not behind, not in the shadows. Just there. Ethan watched them and understood something at last. Power had never been about control. It had always been about courage. The building's lobby changed too. A small plaque appeared near the elevators, almost unnoticed. "This space supports second chances." No names, no titles, just truth. And sometimes when Mara walked through that lobby, she carried no mop, no badge, only a phone in her pocket, silent now, and a life that no longer needed to hide. Some stories don't end with forgiveness. They begin there. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this heart-touching story. Tell us in the comments which moment touched you the most. Subscribe and turn on the bell to receive more stories that inspire and transform. Leave a like if you believe in the invisible strength of kindness, dignity, and family. And thank you for being part of this community that believes in stories with soul.